Picture this. It is 1991. A woman walks out of a psychiatric ward in nothing but a hospital gown, arms like coiled steel cables, eyes like a predator scanning for the next threat. She picks a lock with a paperclip. She racks a shotgun one-handed. She does not scream. She does not cry. She does not wait to be rescued. She is the rescue. Linda Hamilton, as Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, Judgment Day, did something no woman had ever done on screen before. She did not play tough. She became tough. Not movie tough. Real, physical, visceral, I will break your arm tough. The film made over $500 million worldwide, the highest grossing movie of that year. She won a Saturn Award. She won MTV Movie Awards. She became the standard against which every future action heroine would be measured. And then Hollywood looked at everything she had accomplished and essentially said, "Thanks. We are done with you now." That's the part nobody talks about. How the woman who redefined what a female action star could be was quietly shuffled off the stage while her male co-star went on to become the governor of California. This is not a story about a star who faded. This is a story about a system that had no room for the thing it created. Let's rewind, because this story starts long before the machines. Linda Hamilton was born in Salisbury, Maryland in 1956. She grew up in a small town in a working-class family. When she was 5 years old, her father was killed in a car accident. Her mother remarried a police chief, and the household became structured, but the wound was already there. Linda had an identical twin sister, Leslie. From the beginning, she did not want to be just another face. She rebelled, and she found performing. Theater became her oxygen. She trained at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York. Strasberg was the same teacher who shaped Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Hamilton dreamed of Shakespeare, of the stage, of complex characters. Hollywood had other plans. In 1984, two things happened that changed everything. She starred in Children of the Corn, which made $14 million against a $3 million budget. Then James Cameron called. The Terminator was a low-budget sci-fi film nobody expected to explode. Hamilton played Sarah Connor, a waitress who discovers she is the mother of humanity's future savior. The film topped the box office. Critics praised her resilience. But in that first film, Sarah Connor was fundamentally a woman being chased, being protected, being told her destiny by men. Hamilton knew it. She later said watching herself made her cringe. She called her own performance weak, saying she looked like mincemeat. That self-awareness is what separates her from almost every other actor of her generation. Between the two Terminators, she starred in Beauty and the Beast on CBS, opposite Ron Perlman. It ran for 3 seasons, and she earned Golden Globe and Emmy nominations. She proved she had range. Remember that, because the industry would spend the next 2 decades pretending she did not. Then Cameron called again, Terminator 2, and Hamilton detonated. She told Cameron she wanted Sarah Connor to be crazy, genuinely, dangerously unhinged. Cameron put her in a mental institution and gave her the keys to rebuild the character from scratch. 2 weeks after giving birth to her son, Hamilton began training. 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, for 13 weeks straight, continuing through the entire shoot. She did military training with an Israeli commando. She learned judo. She transformed her body into something audiences had never seen on a woman in a Hollywood film. Not decorative fitness, functional, military-grade strength. She did all of this as a new single mother, because her first husband had left her while she was pregnant. She was abandoned postpartum, raising a newborn alone. And she showed up on set looking like she could bench press Schwarzenegger. The result was cinematic history. The one-armed shotgun pump. The relentless march toward Dyson's house. Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 was not just an action character. She was a revolution. Schwarzenegger was the machine. Hamilton was the force of nature. And here's where it gets ugly. After Terminator 2, Hamilton was offered role after role, all of them the same. Tough woman with a gun, warrior woman in a tank top, She wanted comedy, she wanted Shakespeare, she wanted to prove what she had already proved on Beauty and the Beast, that she had depth and warmth and range. Nobody cared. She later said people were too intimidated by her image to offer her anything else. Too intimidated. Not by her talent, by the body she had built to serve a role. Now compare that to Schwarzenegger. Same film, same year. He went on to do comedies like Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way. He did dramatic work. He became governor for 8 years. The industry bent itself around him. It gave him permission to be more than one thing. Hamilton got Silent Fall and Shadow Conspiracy, films that barely registered. Her only real post-Terminator 2 traction was Dante's Peak in 1997 opposite Pierce Brosnan, and then, effectively, silence. But the disappearance was not just about bad roles. Hamilton had been battling bipolar disorder for 20 years without a diagnosis. She lived with extreme mood swings, manic episodes where she slept 4 hours a night and raged at everyone, and depressive crashes she described as falling into a manhole and not being able to climb out. She self-medicated with drugs and alcohol. Her first marriage collapsed under the weight of it. Then she married James Cameron in 1997, the man who built the role that defined her. Cameron cheated on her with Susie Amos during the production of Titanic. Their divorce was the second most expensive in Hollywood history. She was finally diagnosed around 1994. She called the first 40 years of her life her lost years. She spent hundreds of thousands on treatment. She went on medication, she stopped drinking, and slowly she started putting herself back together, not for the cameras, but for her 2 children. She later said her love for them was what finally forced her to seek help. By 2012, her agents had stopped calling. She left Malibu and moved to a farm in Virginia, then to New Orleans. She took small television roles, including Chuck, Weeds, and Defiance. Nothing made headlines. Everything let her live on her own terms. She never stopped working, but the industry had moved on. Then in 2019, Cameron called one more time for the film Terminator Dark Fate. Hamilton was 62. She had not played Sarah Connor in 28 years. Her first instinct was to say no. She had built a quiet, authentic life and was not sure she wanted to trade it. But she said yes. She trained with the intensity of a professional athlete. She showed up on set looking like Sarah Connor had never left. The film underperformed, but Hamilton's return was the one thing every critic praised. She was the best part of the movie. She was always the best part. Here's what Hollywood never understood. They thought Sarah Connor was a role. It wasn't. It was a declaration. Linda Hamilton was a single mother, abandoned and postpartum, forging herself into something unbreakable because her life demanded it. The performance was real because the pain was real, and Hollywood profited from all of it, then offered her nothing but cheap imitations. Imagine if the industry had given her what it gave Schwarzenegger, the comedies, the dramas, the prestige television. She had the Strasbourg training, she had the Beauty and the Beast range, but Hollywood does not reward women who become too powerful for the box they are placed in. It replaces them. It waits them out. It lets them disappear. Linda Hamilton spent her lost years fighting a war nobody could see. She became a vocal advocate for mental health, appearing on Larry King Live to talk openly about bipolar disorder when that kind of honesty could end a career. She said she wanted to destigmatize the words mental illness. She said she wanted to be a messenger of hope. This is not about a star who burned out. This is about a master who transcended. Linda Hamilton did not fail Hollywood. Hollywood failed her. And the fact that she found peace and purpose in spite of everything the industry and her own biology threw at her is the most Sarah Connor thing she ever did. She survived. Not the machines, something harder. Being a woman in a system that only valued her when she was useful and forgot her the moment she became inconvenient. If this changed how you see Linda Hamilton, hit subscribe. We are building something here. a place where the stories Hollywood buries get told the way they deserve. Drop a comment and tell me which forgotten legend you want us to cover next. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because stories like this do not get told unless people like you make sure they do. And we are just getting started.